Howdy folks, I'm chatty, common, checkered skipper, constantly crowing checkmate.
I'm Amber.
And here are more checkmates for us to crow, because we're a butterfly, and sometimes we're also crows, but I mean, that's how it goes.
And we are out of the Maine butterfly. So the way my butterfly guide works is that most of the butterflies are ones that are common in Maine or that are seen in Maine. And then they have ones of possible Maine butterflies. So we're now on the possible Maine butterflies. So there might be occasional sightings, but most of them you're not going to see in Maine.
Yes. And folks, we have a live stream coming up on Friday. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Laughing at My Brother's Comment About His New Girlfriend's Potential Career? I need to know whether or not I'm the jerk for calling out I'm a 21-year-old female, brother, who's a 24-year-old male, for his comments during dinner when meeting his girlfriend, a 19-year-old female, for the first time. I would like to preface this post by saying that my brother is the type of guy who says with his full chest that women belong in the kitchen and women should serve men, etc. The scenario that I need to know is if I'm the jerk or not. This happened yesterday. My brother decided that my family needed to meet his girlfriend, so they came over for dinner. I would like to say that they have only been dating since the beginning of July 2025. And yes, I think that it was too soon to meet her, particularly when she doesn't even actually know him all that well. Anyways, my brother has said before and has horrible views on women, and through the entire dinner, he would constantly make comments about how much he respected his girlfriend and how he can see them getting married soon. I managed not to react of saying anything of his comments up until his girlfriend, she's really nice and I don't have any problems with her, said that she was thinking about joining the police force. My brother went on a tirade about how amazing she would be and how supportive he is of the idea, and myself and my dad laughed, which according to my brother was messed up because the girlfriend asked me why I laughed, and I told her the truth, which is that I laughed purely because every time my brother sees a female police officer, he makes a misogynistic comment about how easy it would be to take a female cop down and how women shouldn't be on the police force, military, or any first line or first responder role. His girlfriend was obviously stunned and asked him if that was true, to which he just called me a B and had a go at his girlfriend for even suggesting dinner. I called him out on that and said that he had been telling us that he wanted us to meet her, so he can't blame her for wanting us to meet his family. From then, it devolved into a rant about how she won't marry him anymore and that he's not going to be able to have sex with her because now she knows how he really feels about women in law enforcement. I get that it wasn't my place to call him out, and I didn't mean to, but I also don't want her being manipulated by him into thinking that he would support her when I've heard horrific things that he said. My dad also backed me up and thought that it was wrong for my brother to lie and said that he would be supportive when he's really not. So am I the jerk for essentially showing my brother's girlfriend what my brother is really like, not the honeymoon, fresh into a relationship version that she's been seeing? Edit, I just want to clarify and say that the reason I thought that I could be the jerk in this situation is because I don't normally stand up to people's beliefs, especially when it comes to relationships, and if I think that I could impact the relationship. Part of me felt really bad for interjecting and essentially meddling in the relationship. They haven't broken up, to my knowledge, but they're not on the best terms at the moment. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. It's important that this woman enter into the relationship with her eyes open and knowing like the truth of his character. If he is manipulating her and pretending to support her only to rush her into marriage and then stifle her, that's not okay. It sounds like he wants to get married very quickly, and that his big upset is that he can't sleep with her if she's not happy with him. This is not someone who loves this woman. He sees her as a means to an end. He wants to be intimate, and she provides that for him, and presumably if he can trap her in marriage would then provide him with all the other services he expects of her.
Yeah, so I've heard it's a pretty common thing for manipulators to lie to women about their real beliefs in order to get them kind of trapped into this, relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So someone might pretend that they're, more liberal, for instance, in order to, get a liberal, woman and trap them in a relationship type of thing, right? And this is something that I've actually heard, conservative men talk about and, do. I don't know if this is true the other way around, where a liberal person, coerces it. I haven't heard any stories like that. But I'm sure there might be some cases of that, but primarily I've heard this happening in conservative circles where they'll try to essentially convince women that they're more liberal in order to trap them in a relationship.
Well, because it's really but it's important that people be honest and not manipulate people and not trap people. If the only relationship you see yourself being happy in is one where, your partner is submissive to you, be open from the get-go.
Yeah.
And it may take you longer to find a partner, but you'll find someone who genuinely wants that relationship.
Well, that's just it, is that you shouldn't lie about your views or beliefs in order to trap someone in a relationship, right? You need to be on the same page as this person, otherwise you're both going to be miserable in the end, right?
Or at least your partner will be miserable.
Yeah.
You might still be fine if you're able to manipulate them to your will, but that makes you a bad person.
Yeah. And you shouldn't use coercion or manipulation or anything like that in order to trap a person in a relationship. And what I'm kind of concerned about here is that he's trying to baby trap her and, get her to be like, while he's talking outside of, saying, oh, I really want to support you and I hope that you become a police officer. But when she gets pregnant, he's like,
oh, that's too dangerous.
Yeah, why would you want to do that and put our child, at risk of losing their mother or something like that, right?
Exactly. Like the whole accelerated timeline makes me sure that he's just trying to get her in, lock her in real quick, and then, hope to baby trap her probably.
Yeah, and again, there needs to be more time for her to figure out who he is as a person. And I think that it was good that OP was able to shine a light on that a little bit, because again, if he's being disingenuous, it would be different if this had been years since he said these kinds of things, and maybe he's had a change in view, and then OP could have sat down and talked with him and made sure that he was being honest, right? Or even brought it up and said, oh, I thought you believed this about women. And he could have been open and honest and said, I've had a lot of time and reflection and I've changed my views on that, right? Because people are allowed to change their views on things like this, right? But the fact is that he's been dating her for 2 weeks. And that would be the fastest turnaround for someone's beliefs that I've ever seen, that they suddenly stop believing terribly misogynistic things within 2 weeks, So, I mean, he could be genuinely have had his mind changed, but it doesn't sound like it from the way he's reacted.
Well, given that his big upset is that, well, now she won't sleep with me. If he had been I've really changed and I did again, he should still be able to be open and honest and address that he's changed. But his response wasn't that of someone who feels like they're having their past held against them in an unfair way.
Yeah.
It was of, but now I can't have what I want.
Yeah. So let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My wife, a 39-year-old female, wants laser hair removal from a friend of ours, a 38-year-old male, and I, a 40-year-old male, am uncomfortable with him seeing her naked. And Amber wants to read this one.
A husband and wife in our friend group owns one of those med spas that offer laser hair removal. The husband in passing has offered it essentially free to everyone in the group. Just take us out to dinner type deal. 2 of the women have taken him up on the offer. The issue is that the appointment is with him after hours. His wife is there and the other wives have brought their husbands, but it's him doing the procedure. My wife really wants to get both her upper lip and pubic area done, so both sets of lips, lol. But there is no way we could afford it, so she wants him to do it. He may be very professional, but I just feel uneasy about him seeing my wife like that. Also kind of bothers me my wife would be okay showing off herself than someone other than a doctor, especially for multiple appointments. My wife has just told me, paraphrasing, I'm pushing 40, this is my only body I'll ever have, and I am no longer embarrassed by it. How should I tell her I'm uncomfortable with the situation, or should I let it be? So, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
I think that this is a difficult situation, and I think that OP should really reflect on what they're saying here. I mean, the thing is that if he's uncomfortable with the situation, he can go escort her into the med spa, and this is something that she wants. And the thing is, like, would they feel any better if they were going to a med spa for laser hair removal if it was a strange guy instead, right? And the fact of the matter is that the guy does this for a living. He's doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He doesn't have to do this. And these are, if he does this on a daily basis, I mean, come on. He's not getting any kind of sexual gratification out of this, right? And the fact that he's willing to do this in an environment with his wife present and the other husband's present shows that this isn't really a skeevy kind of unsavourable situation where he's like, oh no, it just needs to be her private alone with me. I have to have privacy in order to do this appointment. At that point in time, those would be huge red flags waving, right? But this is him doing it in a very professional, open way, and it's a medi spa. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's doing this for any other reason other than just being kind.
Well, that's the thing is, OP mentions, why would you do this for someone who's not a doctor? But it's called a med spa, as in medical spa. Like, presumably he is licensed and trained. And maybe he's not an MD, but he still has the licensing and training to run this laser treatment.
Yeah.
And so, I think OP, it needs to really reflect on his feelings, maybe write them out in a journal or talk to someone in therapy or something, because it sounds like everything here is very above board. Again, his wife is present and the women are allowed to bring their husbands so OP can be present. There's nothing untoward that's going to happen. It just seems like OP is very uncomfortable by the idea of another man seeing his wife's body. And even if it is for a,
legitimate medical thing, right? And I think he isn't seeing the actual, professionalism behind this, because again, if this was a doctor, I don't think he would have a problem with it, because he says he doesn't have a problem with it, right? And so I think, again, this is just a professional environment and it's being treated very professionally. I don't see why OP should be all that uncomfortable with it. So,
well, I think he's having a hard time potentially, and hopefully it's just he's having a hard time separating professional and personal life. That he knows this guy in personal life, and sometimes it's hard to picture someone as a professional. Like, even if they're a doctor, until you see them in surgery, it's like hard to picture.
Yeah.
But again, this is OP's feelings to work through. I would not recommend. It sounds like he's already talked to his wife. I would not recommend bringing this up again. And just find it in you to support her.
Yeah. But I would also like to point out that this is like thousands of dollars that OP is willing to throw away just because they're uncomfortable with the situation.
Well, he's just trying to bully his wife out of doing it.
Yeah.
It sounds like they don't have the money to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
And so the only way she can do it is if he does it. And, it sounds like OP's just trying to convince her, no, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Which, it's unfortunate she has these insecurities and feels the need for this, but, it's her body and it needs to be her choice.
Well, it may not even be out of insecurity. Some people just don't like pubic hair, right?
Well, that's true.
Some people just don't like the look of it, and some people just want it gone. And if it is out of insecurity, if OP's pressuring her to get rid of it, right, and then goes around and is like, no, but not this way, then that's not a good situation, and he shouldn't be pressuring her in that respect, right? But if this is her, she doesn't like the look of it and she doesn't like the aesthetic of it, then more power to her for whatever she wants to do for her body. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I'm a 24-year-old female and the guy that I'm dating, a 33-year-old male, are arguing over money. Hey ladies, I need some advice. I want to know if I'm being dramatic or not. I'm a 24-year-old and I'm about to start graduate school in August, and I just got a new apartment for the first time by myself. I've been dating this guy since February and he's met my mom and all those things. He's 33. Long story short, I need help moving items. It is literally not a lot, 2 dressers, 2 mirrors, and a vanity. I stay on the 3rd floor of both my new and old apartment, and I can get the clothes and things myself. I'm starting school, so I'm dropping to part-time with my job starting in August. From my old apartment to my new apartment is 45 minutes to an hour away. Moving companies were quoting me about $600, which is out of my budget. So the guy that I'm dating said that he would do it, but he's going to charge me $400 for him and him to help and the U-Haul. And as time progresses, he's been irritating me, so I decided to find my own movers, and I found someone who would do it for $340, U-Haul included. Me and him just got into it because he feels a way because I got someone to do it and they're just going to be doing it for $60 cheaper. Mind you, I asked him to be there tomorrow because I wanted a man around because of course you never know with these movers. He got mad because he feels like it's dumb that I'm going to be with someone who will only do it for $60 cheaper than him. But my whole point is, as a man, I felt like he shouldn't have wanted to charge me anything, and we are dating for 5 or 6 months. What are your all thoughts? All right, folks, what do you think?
Stick with the mover, ditch the boyfriend. I mean, what kind of partner wants to exploit you to move things? Like, I understand the whole, like, oh, well, get me a pizza and a beer type of arrangement.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
There are ways, like, generally when you're helping a family member or friend move, it's customary for them to, buy some pizza and drinks. But you're doing this as a favor, not to profit off of them.
Well, you generally, for family and friends and stuff like that who are helping you move, you're generally not charging them. It's not customary to charge them, right?
Exactly.
And I mean, maybe in wherever OP is at, that's not the case. But, from everyone that, I've known, it's never been a paid type of thing. You only do it for like minor, compensation of like food and stuff like that, like what Amber was saying, right? And I think it's a little unfair for him to be getting all snippy that OP found somebody to do it cheaper. Well, then he can offer to do it for even cheaper.
Well,
then,
that's the thing,
right?
because if he really wanted this gig, he could lower his rates.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't go with him at this point in time because he doesn't seem trustworthy. And again, this whole thing seems very exploitive.
Now, I could understand him wanting to be compensated for the U-Haul, right? So like, oh, but they're going to charge us, $60 for the U-Haul or something like that.
Right.
And we need to, I'm going to pick it up. So can you pay me back for that?
But it sounds like he's expecting that charge on top of this because OP mentions the other guy is including the U-Haul with the $340 price point.
Yeah.
So like he's expecting to be paid $400 to do the work of movers and then extra money for the U-Haul.
Yeah. So I think that's just a unfortunate situation. And I think that it's really showing that OP's relationship with him is transactional to some degree. And so I would be really cautious and I would see if there were other ways in which the relationship is transactional because, relationships shouldn't be transactional. You should be partners helping each other, not partners, benefiting.
Trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah, like trying to use your partner, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Use your partner for self-enrichment.
Oh, by the way, my fee for appearing on your Reddit show is now $400.
Yes. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh, I can tell you exactly why the chicken crossed the road. It was to get to the other side. And, I mean, it's kind of clever of a joke when you kind of think about it and the relationship that when we're talking about the chicken crossing the road, what we're really saying is that the chicken has died and it's crossing over.
I knew you were going that route. But yeah, no, it's telling old joke day. So you did get the punchline right.
Yeah.
It's also International Self-Care Day.
Oh, so go to a Medi Spa.
I mean, I guess that one actually works pretty well with our stories.
And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And folks, we have a live stream coming up tomorrow. For more information, please see this chart here. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on being honest in relationships.
Honesty is very important in relationships, and if people will not be in a relationship because of your views, do not manipulate them. Just find someone who has the same views as you.
Yeah. Or make your views very, up front so that they are aware of them.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, find someone who has those same views, or maybe work on being a better person and not, insisting on treating other people as lesser than you.
But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.